ready for the weekend. So we're going to start with our feet maybe slightly further than hip distance apart, and starting nice and kind of softly today. So just bending into the knees, letting the arms just hang by the side and closing down the eyes. Just bringing the attention inwards, so focusing on your breathing, on your body, how you're feeling. And let's start by taking 3 lovely, long, deep, full breaths. So let's take a big inhale, filling up the chest, filling up the torso, expanding the rib cage. And exhale, maybe sighing it out. And again, inhaling. Nice long sigh, letting it all go as we exhale. One more, nice full big inhale, all the way in, and slowly exhaling it out. Maybe it's taking a little bend in the knees and starting to take a sway from side to side. Starting to swing your hands, just taking some little gentle twists. And then maybe making the movement a little bigger. Good. And then just bringing it back through to center. Bringing your feet hip distance apart. And we're going to start right at the bottom of our feet and kind of do a little bit of a body awareness coming all the way up to the head, engaging as we go. So let's take a look down at our feet. Let's lift up all of our toes and then slowly try and place your toes back one by one, which you might not succeed in doing, but with the intention down at your toes. So starting with your big toe and then slowly trying to place all the other toes down on the mat. And then really feel yourself grounding down through your feet. We're going to take some little circles, just shifting our weight, kind of left to forward, to right, to back, not lifting the feet off the floor, but just trying to feel around the edges of your feet. And then round the other way. And then stopping, finding our center point, maybe bending into the knees and really pushing down through the feet so you can really feel grounded, feel the weight coming down through all parts of your feet. Then let's slowly straighten up the legs, firming up the thighs, so nice strong engaged legs. Let's lengthen the tailbone down towards the floor, so rather than kind of sticking your bum out, let's lengthen the tailbone. You should then start to feel your core area engage around your belly. And then follow that lengthening all the way up through your spine, up through the crown of your head. And you almost want to feel like you're about to come up onto tiptoes, finding that length, but then at the same time grounding down through your feet. So 2 opposing forces going on here. Let's lift the shoulders up to the ears and then melt them back and down, and just watch you're not dipping into your lower back as you do that. So keeping that spine nice and tall as we pull the shoulders back and down, and then engage through the arms. So straighten out the arms. Let's bring our hands just a little bit kind of out from the side of our body, palms facing forward, and stretch out the fingers. So really active hands here. This is our mountain pose, so really strong standing pose. Taking some nice slow breaths here. Keeping that energy going down through your feet, up through your legs, up through your spine. Standing nice and tall, and then melting the shoulders down, extending down through the fingertips. Okay, let's start to wiggle into our fingers. Really working through the hands. And we're going to clasp the hands together, push the palms away from you. So stretching out the palms of the hands, stretching out the arms. And then bringing the hands down, so you're like pushing down towards the floor. Let's bend into the knees. And then we're just going to take, you can bring the feet a little further apart for this if you need. Take a little sway from side to side. Maybe finding a little bit of length through the side body as you come up to the side. Bending into the knees as you come through center. Just finding a little flowing movement, swaying as much as you like. Starting to get some movement into the joints, the shoulders, the hips, the knees, the ankles. And stretching out those wrists. Okay, good. Bringing it back through to center, bringing our feet back to hip distance apart, hands down by your side. Let's take some side stretches. So as we inhale, reaching up to center. And as we exhale, coming into our lovely side stretch. Inhaling as you bring yourself back up and exhaling down. Try to leave your head just kind of over to the side and let the weight of that arm coming back, pull your head back and you'll get a lovely stretch across the side of the neck. Other side, inhaling. Exhale into the stretch. Inhaling as you slowly come up and exhaling back to upright. Just taking some more in your own time. Trying to follow your breath if you can. Don't worry too much about the breathing as long as it's nice and slow and steady and you're aware of your breathing. That's the most important part. If you do want to stay in your side stretch a little bit longer, by all means do so. Just try not to hold your breath as you stay in the stretch. Keep the breathing steady, consistent. Good. Finishing off whichever side you're on, or just evening up, making sure you do both sides equally. We'll meet back in our standing pose. This time as we inhale, we're going to reach the arms up and exhale, float them down. Inhaling up and exhale, float down. Inhaling up. This time as we exhale, bring the hands down through our prayer position, bending into the knees, folding from the hips, coming all the way down into our forward fold. Letting the head hang heavy. As we inhale, let's come up into our halfway lift, so finding a flat back, reaching forward with the crown of the head. And as we exhale, back into our forward fold, letting the head hang, releasing the neck. Inhaling, rising up all the way through to standing, reaching up to the sky, and exhale, hands come down through prayer. And again, inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Inhale into your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, reaching up, nice big breath in, and exhale down. We'll do a couple more of these, just following your breath with your movement. Bending the knees as much as you need to as you come down. And then the next time we come down into our forward fold, let's stay down in our forward fold. Letting the head hang, fully releasing the neck. Maybe taking a little sway from side to side, holding on to opposite elbows. If that feels good for you, taking a moment in our ragdoll. And then releasing the hands down to the mat. As we inhale, let's come back up into our halfway lift. And as we exhale, hands come down to the mat. We're going to step back with our left foot, coming into a low lunge. So dropping that left knee down to the mat. Let's just wiggle that right foot forward or bring it forward so it's directly under the knee. And we'll keep our hands down here. Let's take our gaze forward and try and sink the hips a little lower. Slowly bring yourself to upright, but leaving the hands down by your sides. Let's find our mountain pose hands. So stretching out the fingers, engaging through the palms, rolling the shoulders back and down. Lengthening the tailbone down towards the floor, so engaging your core as we sink the hips a little lower. Bringing the hands down to frame that front foot, tucking the back toe under. We're going to step forward. Inhale into your halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down onto the other side. So stepping back with your right foot, lowering that back knee down, just making sure our alignment is right with that front knee over the front ankle. Leaving our hands down onto the mat into our really kind of low runner's lunge. Taking our gaze forward. Breathing, and then slowly bringing ourselves to upright, bringing our hands slightly wider than we would do usually, stretching out our fingers, palms facing forward, maybe giving the shoulders a little roll back and down, lengthening the tailbone down, and then maybe sinking the hips a little lower. Bringing the hands back down, framing that front foot, tucking the back toe under, stepping forward. Let's inhale into our halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. This time as we inhale, reaching all the way up to the sky, back up to standing. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come to the mat. We're going to do the same again. Step back with our left foot. This time try and keep that back knee raised. So strong and straight through that back leg. Again, just making sure our front foot is directly under that knee. Keeping the hands down on the mat. Again, looking forward. Breathing. Slowly bringing ourselves to upright. Strong through that back leg, really pushing away through that back heel. Rolling the shoulders back and down. And still having that same intention of tucking that tailbone under, lengthening through the spine. Strong through the legs. Hands come down to frame the front foot, stepping forward with that back leg, halfway lift. Hands come down, stepping back with your right leg. Finding our alignment, settling into the pose. Straightening that back leg, really pushing away with that back heel. And then slowly lifting ourselves up. Grounding down through our feet. Strong through the legs, engaging through the arms, shoulders back and down. Breathing. Hands come to frame the front foot. Let's step back into our plank. Holding our plank just for a few breaths. Hands underneath the shoulders, strong through the core. And then lowering the knees down, bringing the knees underneath the hips, hip distance apart. So finding our tabletop position, hands underneath the shoulders, and again, spreading those fingers wide like we do in our mountain pose. Coming into our cat-cows, inhaling as we look forward. Exhaling, curving up towards the ceiling. Inhaling, looking forward, belly dips down. Exhaling, up the other way. Following the movement with your breath. Mindfully moving the spine. Trying to move each little part of your spine separately. Finding a lovely flowy ripple all the way up and then all the way down. Good, finishing off the round that you're on, and then we'll meet in our neutral spine. So just finding your flat back. Engaging your core, always finding that length through the spine. So lengthening the tailbone away from you. Pulling your belly button back towards your spine. We'll send the left leg out behind us, tucking the toes under, opening up the back of the leg. And then slowly, slowly lifting that leg up, watching you're not dipping into your lower back. Toes keep pointing down towards the floor, so really pushing out through the back heel. And then we're going to lift up the right arm to join it. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Strong through the core, strong through the back. Holding here and breathing. Good, lowering everything down to the mat. Finding your engagement again, pushing through the hands to broaden across the shoulders, tucking that belly button, kind of pulling that belly button back towards the spine, really engaging your core. Let's stretch the right leg out behind us. Pushing back through that back heel, opening up the back of the leg, and then slowly lifting up the leg, watching you're not dipping into your lower back. So trying to keep your back as straight, as firm as possible. And then we'll lift up the left arm to join the right leg. Really reaching out through the left fingertips, pushing back through the right heel, strong through the core. Remembering to breathe. And then everything coming back down onto the mat. We'll take a rest in child's pose. So knees wide, toes together, hips back and down. And let's just slightly walk the hands forward, bringing your head down to the mat. Always remember you can use a block here to support your head. If your forehead isn't quite reaching the floor, that's absolutely fine. Any sort of support will do, even a cushion or a pillow. Just so there's no strain on the neck, there's no strain on the back of the neck. And it's nice and comfortable and restorative for you. So breathing here. This is a lovely pose to bring your attention inwards in your little cocoon. Noticing how your body is feeling today, how the breath is feeling today. How slow and steady can we make the breath? We're going to walk the hands over to the left side of the mat when you're ready. Keeping the legs where they are, so just the hands and the arms that move. And then we're almost going to lean into that right side of the body. So finding a lovely stretch all the way through the arm, the shoulder, the armpit, into the ribs, maybe into the hip. Keeping that breath consistent, steady, controlled. And then let's walk the hands slowly over to the other side. So this time leaning into the left side of the body. Bringing our hands back through to center. We're going to take our right arm and thread it underneath our left armpit. And then just finding your stretch here, you can kind of come into more of a twist by reaching the arm quite a way through and coming to rest maybe on the side of your head. Or if you want to get more of a stretch through the back of the shoulders, you can maybe bring the arm back a little bit and then just bring the forehead down towards the ground. So just having a little bit of a play, finding what stretch works for you today. Keeping that breath nice and controlled. Slowly bringing the right arm back through and the left arm goes underneath the right armpit. And again, just finding whatever stretch works on this side. It might feel a bit different than the other side. And then bringing that left arm back through. Coming back through our child's pose and just taking a look up towards your hands. Let's just check our hands are shoulder distance apart. Fingers are nice and widely spread. We're going to bring our weight up and forward, bringing ourselves into a half plank position. So just moving our knees slightly towards each other so they are hip distance apart. Shoulders come over the wrist, toes are untucked. Option here to come into a full plank if you would like to. Have an extra little bit of challenge. And we're going to do 3 press-ups, nice and slowly, squeezing the elbows in, bringing the chest between the hands, slowly pushing back up. 3 times. Just coming down as far as you need to. And then we're going to bring the weight back so the hips come to meet the heels, keeping the hands where they are. So trying to find a nice stretch through the torso here, maybe through the rib cage, into the lower back, through the arms. Kind of reaching forward with your hands as we're reaching backwards with our hips. And again, let's bring the weight forward, coming into our half plank or full plank. And again, 3 press-ups. And hips back. Stretching out. One more time, bringing the weight forward, finding your plank, 3 press-ups. This time as we bring the weight back, we're going to tuck the toes under, walk the hands back with us, coming onto our knees with the toes tucked under. Just take a look at your toes. Tuck any under that haven't quite made it and go into your foot stretch. If you need to bring the weight forward a little bit here, that's absolutely fine. This is very different for different people, but a great stretch to do if you are on your feet a lot, if you do a lot of running, if you wear heels. So just taking some breaths here. Finding where in the body you can release any tension, so maybe around the face, the neck, the shoulders. Then bringing your weight onto your hands, let's just tuck the feet out. Giving them a little shake. And we're going to tuck the toes under again, this time coming into a little ball on the back of our mat. Keeping the heels lifted if we can, and then just wrapping your arms around your knees, finding a little balance here. Curving into the spine. And then we're slowly going to lift up to standing, trying to keep on our toes if we can. Strong through the legs, finding our balance, uncurling all the way up. Reaching up to the sky, up onto our tiptoes. Nice big inhale, and then slowly lower down the heels as we float the arms down. And again, let's inhale, coming up onto our tiptoes. Exhale, floating the arms down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time, inhaling up. And exhaling down. Coming to find our mountain pose again. So feeling grounded through your feet, firming up through the legs, tucking the tailbone down, lengthening that spine, engaging the core. Feel that heaviness down through the bottom half of your body, but that lightness coming up through the top half. Reaching up through the crown of the head, finding that length in the back of the neck, maybe tucking the chin towards the chest slightly. Rolling the shoulders back and down, lengthening through the arms all the way to the fingertips. Spreading the hands nice and wide. Maybe closing down the eyes. Just bringing your awareness to your body, to how you are feeling. And then let's soften, let's relax the arms, just let them hang by your side, keeping the eyes closed. Maybe a little soft bend into the knees. But keep that awareness, keep that length, keep that space. We're going to finish with another 3 deep, full breaths. So let's take a lovely inhale, filling up the lungs. Let's feel that rib cage expanding side to side, front to back. And exhale, sighing it out. Feeling the whole body soften. On to our next big inhale, lengthen. Find that space, find that energy. And exhale, softening down. One more, the biggest inhale yet. Filling right up to the top. And slow, controlled exhale. Letting the breathing return to normal, but keeping that awareness there. And then let's open up our eyes. Give the shoulders another little roll back and down, and bring the hands into our prayer position. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and see you soon.